also on. She will start with the.
हम चलते हैं और हम दाहिने वाले ड्रॉ में पैसे
भूल गई ना भूल गई ना वारंटी कार्ड नहीं दे सकता
Yes, yes. So can you
Yes.
see it, sir? The
No,
untitled
I
poll.
cannot see the answers.
I'm not
I can
able
see
to
the
see.
code, but I cannot see the answers. Yeah.
Okay. One second. I will end the poll, then probably you can see it, I think.
Yeah, probably then I can see, I think.
Because it is short answer, no? So let me
Yes.
end. Okay, I will share the result. One second. Okay. So yes. Now can you see
Yes.
it? Can you see?
No.
I've got 10 polls.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
have got 10
10
answers,
results.
but
Yes,
yes,
yes.
10 answers, but there is no answers mentioned, just that
Actually, I am able to see. I will take a
you can
screenshot
share
and
the
I will.
screenshot on the WhatsApp. Yeah,
Yes,
please.
yes. I will send it to you. Yes. And I think I will have to re-announce the poll because I have just got 10 of them.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I will do that. One second. I will share it. So yes, so like I have shared it. I will again relaunch the poll. So I will try to relaunch it again. Let me see.
Yeah.
Can you see, sir? I have shared you this one, the screenshot of
I'm
it.
seeing it. I'm
Yes,
just
yes.
going through it.
Yeah, I am
Yes.
again, creating one and relaunching it because I am not able to. Only 10 of them replied. So let me relaunch the poll again. Yes. Okay, it says poll has been launched in this meeting. So,
Like, are there more people joining, or should we start
they
the
are
session?
joining. I think you can start. In the meantime, I will ask them to put it in the chat box only because I am not able to re-launch the poll again. So I
That
will
is okay.
re
Poll is now
yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
we can do it
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it is fine.
So yes, yes. So Neetika, yeah, you can start the session now. You please go ahead with it.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So, let's begin our session with a wonderful quote. Project management is the art of creating the illusion that any outcome was the result of a series of predetermined, deliberate acts when in fact it was maybe just on luck. Greetings of the day. Good evening, everyone. I, Nitika Chauhan, being your host for today's international webinar on the topic project management with BMI, that is Building Information Modeling. Extend my warm greetings and a very good evening to all of you present here. Project management with BIM represents a paradigm shift in the construction industry. BIM is not just a tool, but a holistic approach that leverages digital technology to revolutionize how construction projects are planned, designed, executed, and managed. In this context, project management with BIM entails harnessing the power of advanced digital modeling and data driven collaboration to streamline processes, enhance decision making, and ultimately deliver more efficient and sustainable construction projects. Talking about the SEMS Welfare Foundation, we are a Section 8 non-for-profit company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with various recognitions from Niti Aayog, uh, MSME, MCON, DDU, GKY, and more. Recognized as a startup by DIBP and MCI and awarded the Best Service Award for National Contribution, SEMS Group, with an active network of 5,000 plus professionals, published books, and an international journal recognized ed- education and health camps for underprivileged children, promoted digital and financial literacy, and contributed to society. Our initiative, DigiSaksham, has developed content for 300 plus courses in IT, BFSI, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting diverse age groups. We have executed a skilling project for 600 inmates, signed MOUs for training, collaborated with various organizations, and conducted international conferences. FemLeads, another SEMS initiative, empowers women through workshops and newsletters, conducting awareness programs in digital literacy, marketing, and career development across different industries. We have impacted over 1,000 women across states and recently celebrated a milestone of 100 women associated with the program. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all to today's international webinar on the topic project management with BIM, that is Building Information Modeling. And to add to our guest of honor, today's speaker is Mr. Banshraj Raj Bahal. It is a great honor to have you with us, sir. We're grateful for your presence here with us today. Our speaker, Mr. Banshraj Raj Bahal, was born in Varanasi and brought up in New Delhi, India. He is a civil engineering graduate with a postgraduate diploma in construction and real estate management. He is also a certified BIM, that is Building Information Modeling Manager. Mr. Bahal has 8+ years of experience in the field of construction and has been part of 75+ projects, which includes residential, commercial stores and warehouses, hospitals, and airport projects. Before starting today's event, there are some ground rules that the participants need to obey and follow. Number one, feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. We will answer every question in the end. Every participant is requested to keep their microphones on mute. The most engaging and interacting during the session will get an appreciation letter from our side. Therefore, the winner's name will be announced at the end of the session. Lastly, a feedback form will be shared in the chat box. Now over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Nitika, for this introduction. So I will share the screen myself first. So our topic for today's introduction to project management with BIM. Before starting with the presentation, I will just give a small introduction about myself. As Nitika explained, I'm a BTech civil engineer. I will explain how I started my career as an engineer and how I ended up being a project manager for a different organization. So I started my career as a civil engineer with L&T in around 2016, where I was working as an execution engineer at a project in Gurgaon. So it was a project where I learned the basic execution practices among the like how the execution and construction processes are taken care of, and then how we work for the vendors and what are the different set of things we do look after while working at a project, and introduction to project stakeholders. Then I joined a project management company named Anubhav Engineers. So I was with them. I joined them as a junior engineer. Then they gave me an opportunity to start working with the BIM at in on 18. In India, in 18, BIM was not familiar with everyone. Right now, these in this years, we BIM is very more particular and famous among the students who are working into architecture or construction industrial field. When I started working with the BIM in 2018, it was like I worked on few projects. Some projects were based out in like 5 to 10 projects in Gurgaon, like SDFC School, Bluebell School, if you may have heard about schools in Gurgaon. I also did the complete quantification works for through BIM for Bangalore Airport project and the complete information Goa Airport modeling for through BIM. So then I started working with the turnkey design and build works where we I was using the effects of the things I learned from the BIM into the construction industry and implementing all the processes into my project and creating an environment as a one-stop solution for everyone. Like where I used to act as a one-stop solution for clients from like initial planning of projects to designing of projects, then execution of projects with the help of BIM. So I'll start with a small introduction to project management with BIM. BIM is basically a digital approach to construction project management. BIM, if I the word in Excel itself explain a building information modeling. So BIM is a 3D model which help us to like regain or to learn more about the project, like what all things will be including in the project, and how we can in this presentation we'll learn different things. What is project management and what is BIM. So I will say the complete agenda for the project. The complete agenda for this presentation will be what all topics I will be covering. BIM is itself a vast topic, so I have just taken some few examples and few of the short scripts which we can help to explain everything. What is my first topic will be what is project management, like defining a project management, like how we define a project management. I will explain that. Project cycle. when we are working on a project, there are certain number of steps or certain number of things and documents to be completed. So I will explain the complete project cycle, how a project is started from initial planning to how we monitor the execution process and how we hand over the projects. Then we'll move into defining a BIM sector, like introduction to complete BIM, how what is BIM and benefits of integrating BIM, what are the phases of project where BIM can be implemented and can be useful for us to like timely handover and completion of projects. Then how what all BIM team, like what all team we should have to like depending upon the project, how we can define the team for the BIM. Then data collection, how BIM help us to collect the data for the projects through modeling softwares or through like there are different sectors in which BIM works. Conclusion, then last will be conclusion of the key takeaways, like what are the main takeaways for with this complete using BIM in the project value. So I'll start with what is project management. When we talk about a project management or a management, there is one thing where manage was doing a certain thing with a particular processes and system is called management. And when we are managing a project, so we call it a project management. How one project works around this triangle. If you can see the triangle on the screen, that is there's a triangle named project triangle. So a complete project runs around these terms: cost management, time management, scope management. So these are like directly proportional to each other. For example, there's a residential project working on. We have a fixed cost budget in mind. On the basis of cost, we'll plan the scope, like what all scope it will be including in the same cost budget. Then to execute the same scope, what all time it will take, it is including the time management. So cost, time, and scope are the three things which are like directly proportional when we are managing a particular set of a particular type of project by keeping the best quality out of it to ensure that if whatever we are executing at site and whatever processes we are working on, it should have a good quality and high quality meetings the standards of our construction practices. So now the project cycle. The project cycles moves and starts with five simple steps. First is design and initiation, in which like a client comes to me with a raw space and he has an idea, like he has a requirement, like what all he needs. So what we do, firstly, we prepare a complete design and initiation plan for the project. For example, if it's 1,000 square feet space and the client wants to have like can say a commercial showroom over there. So according to based on the requirements, we'll plan out all the things like what all designs will be we can suggest them and what all estimate will it cover to execute those designs. Second goes to monitoring and approval stages. Once we have done the designing and we have prepared the cost estimate for the complete project, we'll discuss with the client and they share them the experience how we can do monitor the complete project and approval on the material makes we are placing in, what all materials we are using for the project, ensuring the best quality products and making complete chart for the works. The third step includes the execution of works, which includes on-site and off-site. On-site and off-site means like there are certain number of processes while to be done while when we are working on a project. First, it is designing of the complete project as per the requirements of the client. So, firstly, we prepare a basic layout for the project. This simple project. Firstly, we prepare a basic layout and mood board for the complete project. On the basis of that, we prepare an estimate for working on execution of the works. But in terms of on-site and off-site, on-site when these processes are closed, like we have closed the design with the client and we have closed the cost part with the client, we start the execution works on-site and off-sites. On-site includes like major works, which includes like civil works or plumbing works. There are different set of works, like different packages in the project, like civil works, plumbing work, electrical work and firefighting works, there are landscaping work, there are lift work. So there are different number around 14 to 15 packages covers which comes under a project. So we can help and manage them all through BIM. Last, fourth is monitoring and daily reporting. Once the execution for the project is completely streamlined, so our duty is to like monitor and do the daily reporting. A daily reporting can be done with the help of DPRs and or in turn sharing the daily progress of works at site. What they have planned for the next day, they will prepare a complete reporting system, which includes DPR, that is daily progress reports. A second is WPR, weekly progress reports. And the third is MPR, monthly progress reports. In DPR, what we do in DPR, we share the regular and daily progress of works happening at site, what all work a contract or subcontractors are doing at site, and what all improvements and what all final discussions we have held in for the pending tasks. So it includes in the DPR. In WPR, it's a weekly meeting between the project management team, the construction execution team, and the architecture team, so that we can all be on same page while managing a complete project. MPR. In MPR includes the monthly project reports, which includes like complete what we are working on the project and what we have achieved in the last month. Like for example, a project value for a if you're working on a project value of around 10 CR, so we'll have a time somewhere around 15 months to complete that project. So we'll have 15 monthly meetings in which we'll start from the first meeting. We'll have like we have achieved 1 CR in first month. We have achieved 2 CR in the second month. So that's how we do the daily reporting and depending upon the complete project. The last will be closure and final handing over. Closure and final handing over includes like whatever contractor are working on the site. So we have to prepare their bills and a reconciliation of all the things. So these are the 5 steps we work while a project cycle is worked on. Next is defining BIM. That what is BIM? BIM is basically building information modeling. It's a 3D approach. Uh, if I say when we start a project, we firstly make 2D layouts for the complete project, like what all 2D shapes and what all things we are going to place in. So we make a complete 2D master layout for the complete project. On the basis of that layout, we work on the 3D modeling with the help of BIM. Now BIM is a culture, and under BIM there are 5 softwares come. There are total 5 software which comes under BIM. First is Revit. So Revit helps us in creating those 2D drawings into 3D models, where we input the data from 2D drawings and achieved AutoCAD drawings into 3D model with the help of Revit. Then the after when we the modeling is 3D model is prepared in the Revit. Then there are 4 different softwares like SketchUp and Lumion. SketchUp and Lumion help you to beautify your model by adding elements like if you want to show a walking person over in a model or something different. So we can create and add elements with the help of SketchUp and Lumion. The last is Nevis work. The Nevis work help us in extracting the values from the project model. For example, if I have created a model for a project, so Nevis work will help me calculate the volume and area of the complete project. So it will help us to create the complete BOQ for the project. Now, a comprehensive digital model. BIM creates a data-rich 3D model of construction projects, including design, engineering, and project management information. When we are making a model in BIM, so they are different in certain levels, what all requirement it should include. So it is called LODs. LOD 300, LOD 400, LOD 500. So it depends what all requirement the client have and what all data we need to extract from the BIM model. We do the modeling according to that only. Collaborative workflow. What happens when a project is initiated? There are a number of stakeholders are related to project. Like I will mention the stakeholders. What all stakeholders are related to a project? First, there is a government client, the main client who is the owner of the project. It can be either if I are talking about government client, then it will be a government office or something like that. The one person they can be licensors who are like creating and doing the marketing for the complete project. Licensors are one type of stakeholders including in the projects. Then there is an architect who is designing the complete project, And then there is a contract MEP consultant who is doing the complete planning of mechanically equipped plumbing fittings like plumbing lines, electric lines, firefighting lines. There's the one guy who is designing all these work for the complete project. The other team is structural consultant. So structural consultant is doing their designing, like where should the column comes and everything like. So what happened? Architect gives a layout for the complete project. Structural consultant works on the how to make that structure more suitable and durable and the long term. MEPF person helps how we should plan out the drainage and inlet and outlet of pipe through these complete. So this is the work for MEP consultant we are saying. Then once the designing is closed, there comes the execution parts. In terms of execution, there's a team. The first team is project management team, who is there to supervise all the work and to manage the complete project from initial stages of it till final handing over. So it includes from like again initial planning of complete project, making schedule of the complete project, like what all time will it take to complete the project, and what is the cost incurred against the layouts prepared by the consultants and the other stakeholders. Then we do the procurement of contractors who are going to work on the site. So contractors are other stakeholders which are related to projects. So the BIM help us in collaborating all these consultants on one page and one cloud so that we can have a free frame about how the work is to be executed. Third is life cycle management. BIM help us to the manage the building from designing to construction to operation, as I mentioned. But it also help us in maintenance of the buildings. Like if we have a model stored, so we can see like what all lines are passing through in a model, what all MEP lines are by from where it is passing through in a particular sections. Next is benefits of integrating BIM into project management. Benefits of integrating BIM are like, as I mentioned earlier as well, it is improved coordination. Like what happens, as I said, architect is drawing their own 2D layouts at their office. Structural consultant is drawing their own drawing the layout of the project from their own office. MEPF consultant is making their own layouts and piping section from their own office. So Bill help us coordinate and pro through like if architect is drawing their 2D drawings at their office, it will come into a complete phase model. So with the help of BIM, we can collaborate all the works. So what happens? It helps us in improve the coordination between all the stakeholders. Cost saving, how it is cost saving? Because BIM, with the help of BIM, we can have the accurate cost for each and every item we are using in the project. For example, if there's a brick wall, with the help of BIM modeling, by clicking on the wall, we can have the complete area, what all bricks, what is the complete area for the project, and how we can calculate the quantity. For example, there's a wall, there's a brick wall, and there's a finishing like after brickwork, there's plastering work, then there is putty work or like tiling work, something, or the wooden cladding work. There are different set of works, structural work. So we can mention them all in the BIM, and after the with the help of Naviswork, we can extract the quantities for each and every item, which will give us the quantity of the work to be executed. And as per the cost, standard cost or like DSR rates, we can have the cost among us in total value in front of us. Construction efficiency. BIM improves construction planning, scheduling, and logistics, leading to faster project delivery and reduced waste. See, I will give you a small example. Like what happened, I was working in a project situated in Gurgaon, Sector 63. So it was a 900 plus housing society and affordable housing project. So there were 6 blocks. So at site, we were on the like initial stages or like we are constructing the first and second floors for the block 1. And when I then I started working on the BIM model for the complete project. In the block 1, I was on the 6th floor. So I saw that there's some conflict between the joinery details of a beam coming around the staircase area. the length of the beam is getting short on the sixth floor, and the length of the beam in the beam below sixth floor is like somewhere around 10 feet, and above sixth floor it is going somewhere around 7 feet. So it was a drawing error. We had a drawing placed on hard drawings which was showing the same 10 feet. But when I was constructing the BIM model, I could see that that it is not 8 feet, it is not coming 10 feet after sixth floor, it is coming around 8 feet. So we had time to we discuss with the structure consultant, we could save our time. We saved somewhere while we reached the sixth floor, we already had those revised drawings with us. So in this way, BIM helped us in saving the cost for the complete project. If what happened, if we were not using BIM at that time, what happened? What would have happened? Like we were on the sixth floor when and the execution team is working on it. When we reach the sixth floor, there are variation between the existing drawing and the existing situation at the site. So BIM help us in like already doing the pre-plan for the works to be executed afterwards. Phases of BIM enable projects. First is planning, establish project goal, team roles, and BIM execution plan. So there are different phases in which BIM should be enabled in a project management. First, as it is mentioned, we have to maintain establish project goals, which means there are as I mentioned, there are certain packages in the project, which include civil work, landscaping work, you can say architectural work, structural work, MEPF work, lift and lift work, if you, when you it considered lift, solar panel, electrical work, and different set of works including in the planning for the complete project. And now the second is team role. We have to define the team who is going to make the modeling, who is gonna do the complete coordination between the client, and how we are gonna execute the BIM model for the complete project. Second is design. Create the 3D BIM model, perform analysis, and coordinate disciplines. For second, once the planning is done, we move on to the designing stage of the for the complete project. We are as per the situation and as per the layouts prepared and as per the scope of the client. We start working on the layouts and which convert into which gets into 3D model with the help of Revit only. Construction use the BIM model for planning, sequencing, and monitoring progress. How construction, while doing the construction, BIM model, as I mentioned earlier as well, planning, sequencing, and monitoring of process. So with the help of BIM, we can do the future planning, how we are gonna do the and execute the complete project. The roles and responsibilities in a BIM driven project. So there's a BIM manager who oversees the BIM implementation, coordinate with the team, and ensure complete data integration on the team projects team. So that his duty and his role is to manage the complete all the stakeholders, which includes like architects, clients, MEP consultant, structure consultant, and to manage them all. BIM coordinates is the one who facilitates collaboration, manages model updates, and resolve conflicts among disciplines. So BIM coordinator duty is to like do the collaborations and like whatever changes we are facing in regular. When the coordinator do the regular changes we are occurring after going to the site, works happening at site, there are certain changes happens in the drawing. So work of coordinator is to update those drawings, update those changing, and also monitor the like stages of work, what all stages we have completed and what all stages are pending. So BIM coordinator is the one who manages the complete processes and the modeling of the projects. BIM modelers are the one who create the models by incorporating designs and construction data. They make the 3D BIM models. Project stakeholders contribute their expertise and make informed decisions based on the BIM data. As I said, they are different stakeholders. So they share their experience and they share their data, like what should be executing and what should be putting in front of at particular place. So these are the works of project stakeholders who helps in making the decision and what all data should be including in the BIM. Collaboration and communication and workflows. First is open communication. Through BM, whenever we are sitting in a model or whenever we're sitting in a meeting. So with the help of BM, we can have an open communication and ensure a clear and frequent communication among all the project stakeholders. Cross-function collaboration encourage close collaboration between design, construction, and operation teams. So, as I said earlier, so BIM help us coordinate and making the and presenting the all the stakeholders on one page. So whatever things we are doing, executing on the projects, it manages us to manage all the stakeholders on one page so that we can have any clarification or clashes that can be solved then and there only while the project is executing, is into the execution stage. The other is seamless data sharing. Establish processes for efficient exchange of BIM data and information. We when I say the seamless data sharing with the help of BIM, I will show the some live project images in the coming slides, like to have a better explain and better image or better understanding of what I'm saying in it. So seamless data sharing, like with the help of BIM, we can input n number of quantities. So for example, there's a table, so we can do the complete designing and detailing of the table with the help of BIM, where we can mention the finish of table, what is the structure of table. So these are like data share. We can input n number of data in the BIM model, and it will give us the exact output with the in terms of quantity. Conflict resolution, as I said, like hota kya hai, what happens when a architect is making a layout, and the complete layout and modeling is done. This structure consultant comes and he says that no, we cannot have it like this way. We need to have a column in center. For example, it's a 10 by 10 space. Architect designed a 10 by 10 space in a living area in a particular design. There's a center table at the center and the sofa on the sides. So depending upon the structural strength, structure consultant comes and says that no, I will have a column in the center to have a structural stability in the building. So this is a conflict raised because architect and structure consultant are not linked to with the help of BM. Once so BIM help us in solving this conflict between all the stakeholders. Like it has happened with me in Run project. It was a cyberpark project in Gurgaon. So what happened? There was a column coming over at a particular region section. So one day the MEP consultant came and said, "We cannot have a column over here. I need to pass my AC ducting through this." So which if by we didn't have the BIM model at that time. So we had to wait, and we had to wait for the structure consultant to present us with some other drawing. So the MEP consultant to present us with some other drawing so that we can have a correct standard of working, and we don't have any conflict between the MVP vendor and the structure consultant. So BIM help us in solving these conflicts, like any clash happening between the stakeholders. BIM data management and information exchange. Model authoring, centralized repository for 3D models and data. So one page I'm saying from the last few minutes are like model authoring. So what happens with the BIM, we can have a centralized cloud-based system. So architect can do their designing from their office, and it will be uploaded in the cloud data. Structure consultant is doing their own designing, it will be uploaded in the cloud data again, and the other consultants are working on their drawing, it will be including in the same clouder so that we can have a complete model at one place. Data exchange, we can have standard formats like IFC, COBie for interoperability. So these are the two terms, IFC and COBie are the two terms which are used to standard and formalize the data we have extracted from the model. Model coordination, clash detection, and resolution to identify and fix issues. So, as I said, when the model is made uploaded in the cloud, so with the help of BIM, we can run a clash detection, and we can run a clash detection test. So, what happens with clash detection? If there is any if there like a HVAC duct is merging with a column or beam, so it will highlight us the same, and we can solve it accordingly. So we can plan something like we can move the position of column, or we can move the duct. So it helps us in finding the clashes that are happening between the different consultant, all the consultants working on the projects. analytics and reporting, insights and metric to inform decision making. So our decision making gets faster. Like we don't have to wait for the architect to re or vet the drawings again. So we can have the complete drawing prepared in through one platform only. So these are the some live example images. This was a commercial office in Chandigarh, Mohali. So what we did, if you can see the small yellow circular dots, so these are the cameras we placed in the. We can also cameras in different sections. So complete model for this is a more project I was executing for a commercial project, commercial office project which I was executing for a Chandigarh-based office, and it's an MNC working for the US. So they wanted me to do the complete camera view and digital building management system for them. So I placed cameras in front of them, and the right corner you can see the what all camera is covering the directions. You can see the blue shade mark. So BIM help us in finding if I'm placing a camera at particular level, so what all it will cover. So BIM can also help us in finding the positions of cameras and what all things we can do. And different things we can help the smoke detector alarm. We can add any set of pipes or passing through it, washrooms, anything. The second is also the plants. What we are planning. This was a project we were asked to design the complete interior. We'd have to do the add the green plant in the architecture model for the complete project. So this is a basic modeling done for the project, which includes royal palm in the on the edges and the hanging plants in the between. So we can do all this coordination with the help of BIM. You can see the glass wall. Now the model is prepared. If I click on the glass wall and extract the schedule and region from this, so I can have the complete quantity, like what all square feet is we are gonna use for the glass. So we can make also we can make different sizes and shapes with the help of BIM modeling. So above on the left hand side, there's a small residential project on which I was working. So we can add n number of there are libraries in the Revit family. So what in BIM we do the modeling in Revit. So in Revit there are n number of families which we can add and we can do present it to something like we can add a particular type of bed if we want in the wall, particular bed in the rooms. We can have a wardrobe. We can show our sofa lining and center table and wardrobes, whatever we are planning on over there. So it will when it this is the part of modeling. When the modeling is done and everything is done, if I say we have to prepare now BOQs we have to prepare the cost estimate for the complete project. So we have an idea what all things we're using on. By just clicking on the items, we can extract the quantities. If I just click on the bed and I enter the extract quantity, so I will have the dimensions of the bed and what is the complete area for the bed it is occupying, and what is the area of wood we have used in the bed. It can also be extracted from the BIM model. So these are there are we can make different numbers of a different number of shapes and designing through BIM. You can see the right top corner. There was the simple model I was designing for a stadium project. So this is a top and surface design for them. Left corner is a circular building. We can make n number of shapes. We can plant trees. We can do the landscaping design for the complete projects. We can define certain number of levels for the project and what all levels. Through this, we can do the flow, we can add the floor finishes to Revit, which help us in the calculating the final exact quantities for the complete project. So, and we can also add these different shapes of columns as well. If you can see the picture in the middle, there's a different shape column. So we can do the modification in columns and also extract quantities through it. Conclusion and key takeaways. First is improved efficiency. BIM streamlines project management, produce processes and reduces waste. So how it is efficient? As I said, already have all the models and already clash, already detected. We have final GFC drawings to work on the project. So we have a without hindrance project. We can execute the works on site without any hindrance of like we don't have any drawings. What happens when we are working on a site? We are waiting for the approval on drawings from the architect, or if there are any changes, we have to wait till those changes are shared by the architect and approved. So BIM help us in already closing these details before the start of projects. So we can have a improve efficiency. We can save our cost. There is no wastage of manpower. If a manpower started working, they'll only move when they have completed their work. So there will be no hindrance or any stoppage of work if we're implementing BIM in our projects. Second is enhanced collaboration. BIM can, as I said, collaboration. BIM can help us in collaborate all the stakeholders at one place, and it can help us create the complete project plan and teamwork plan and informations to different stakeholders and connects. Informed decision making, it can help us to like it will help us in complete project life cycle. We are making the project from initial to final handing over. So integrating BIM into project management can deliver significant benefit in terms of cost saving, construction efficiency, and overall project success. Thank you. And we can start the question answer sessions, I think. Hello. Uh,
Yeah, hi sir. Yes, yes.
yes.
So,
Yes.
yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is finished. Like we can start with the question answer sessions
Yeah,
or
sure.
something.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Nitika, yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. So, what a wonderful knowledge you have given us, sir. I hope our audience has learned many new things from this session. So, I would like to highlight some of the points like the session included points like what is project management, the project life cycle, defining BIM, the benefits of including BIM in the project management, roles and responsibilities in BIM driven projects, collaboration and communication in BIM workflows, and BIM data management and information exchange. So, sir, we have some questions that our audience has given us in the chat box. So, shall we carry on
Okay.
with the questions now?
Yeah, we can do
So
it. We can do it.
the first question that we have is, um, looking to the future, what advancements or trends do you foresee in the integration of BIM in project management practices?
If I say advancement, what I am like, I started working on the BIM when it was not even introduced in India. So I started working. BIM is implementing in outside India since on 15 or 16. Where there, what happens in India? We are there in India when we are working on a project. So what happened? We face particular set of errors. Like we face drawing errors, we face execution errors. As I mentioned, clash detection. So we faced n number of errors while working on the project in India. So when I started working on BIM, the focus behind the BIM was to like have to bring all on one set, and we can do the coordination from like we can have all the project streamlined before the execution has even started. So it was already implementing, and in outside India they are doing very well. Like they are managing the projects, all the projects through BIM only, major of the projects. So BIM is an advancement which help us in execution of the project and monitor the complete project as well.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for m- the answer. And now, the second question includes what training or skills are essential for project managers to effectively utilize BIM in their projects?
BIM is basically a culture. BIM is basically a culture which, as I mentioned, there are 4 to 5 softwares in the BIM. So if you're looking forward to have your expertise in BIM, the first and the basic software to work on BIM is Revit. So Revit is the software which help us creating those models, images, which as I showed in the presentation. So Revit is the platform where we work on the firstly we work make do the complete modeling on the through Revit. Then we transport that model into SketchUp and Lumion. So these are the two software where we beautify the model. So Revit cannot be used for the beautification of the model. Lumion and SketchUp are the part which help us in beautifying the model which we have prepared in the Revit. And the other is after that, once the beautification is done and once we have implemented all the elements in the model, we import that model into Naviswork. So Naviswork is a software like what happens, it helps it there's a once you prepare the complete model. On when we if we open the same model in a Naviswork, so by just a one click, we can have a complete Excel of the finishing materials we can have. So these are four softwares including in the BIM. Revit. Revit is the first. SketchUp and Lumion is the second. There is 3ds Max as well. So there are three softwares: 3ds Max, SketchUp, and Lumion, which can be used for beautification of the model. And Naviswork is the final model software for quantification of the project. I think there are some questions. Is BIM and Nana question by Nana: is
Yes,
BIM a software or a process?
yes, yes.
It's a BIM is basically a process in which we manage all the projects.
Okay. So, sir, one more question is how do project managers ensure data integrity and accuracy when working with the BIM model?
If I say data integrity, like what happens while working as a project manager myself. So we have to maintain certain set of data at site. So there are like certain checklists. For example, if you're executing any set of work, if you're making a column or a column at a site, so there are certain process. Firstly, we have to do if we are making from the ground level only. So we have to plan the first reinforcement. So we'll do the reinforcement. There's checklist of works. First checklist of reinforcement, then checklist of shuttering, checklist of level. Then after that, once the shuttering and reinforcement is checked, then we have to do the concreting and cast the column. So there are certain processes while executing the works on site, and we have to maintain all the data on one paper and some checklist or we have to make. So BIM help us in integrating those checklists and the process of works to be executed on site. So that is how BIM help us in calculating the data and store the data for the projects.
Okay. So, sir, one more is how does BIM support sustainability?
BIM supports sustainability because what happens while working at a site, if we face any drawing error or the work has to be stopped due to some prior approvals on the drawings or something like that. So, so we can have a BIM help us in already doing the pre-planning for the complete project and sustainability. Uh, we can save the time and we can save our construction cost. And so we can make a project more sustainable with the help of BIM. If you are saving a cost of a project and making it more eco-friendly and not wasting any material, so we can make it a sustainable at some extent through BIM.
Okay. So then, what are the challenges faced in achieving BIM objectives of the project?
Challenges faced in the achieving BIM objective is the project like expertise while working on the modeling part. We have to like what happened when I was working on the Bangalore airport project. So I was
Hmm.
hired by AECOM. So I was doing the complete quantification works for the project through Navisworks. So
Hmm.
what happened? I was doing the complete quantification. I could match these few quantities. But what happened when we
Hmm.
are preparing a model, and if we have not like completely input the data, like as I said, if there's a bed, if I'm not input what type of bed it is a queen size bed or king size bed or what type of finish. If I'm not input the complete details in the model, it will help us not achieve the challenges. So while working on the BIM, we should have the knowledge of the material we are implementing and how we are making the complete model through Revit. So we have to an idea and expertise in Revit while making the BIM project, while making BIM a successful for their projects.
Okay. So kindly specify the role of project manager to selecting the project with particular BIM.
Particular BIM, didn't get the what do you mean by particular BIM, but the specific role of project manager to selecting the project with BIM can be like what I can say. Kindly specific role of project manager to selecting the project. What does it mean by particular BIM? I need to know that what have
So,
like if we can.
can I
Yeah.
ask them to unmute? They are in Zoom
Yeah,
only.
definitely.
So,
Yeah,
yes,
they
yes.
can. Yes,
So,
they can do it.
Gajulakshmi, please unmute yourself and ask to sir, right? What
Answer your
is a
question.
particular BIM you wanted for? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
So, I don't know, sir. So,
So
from you.
I'll explain. I
Uh-huh.
will explain with this from the question. The
Okay.
role of project manager to implement BIM on site is, as I mentioned in the presentation, the role of project manager is to like what help BIM do? BIM help us in planning the complete project, and the main responsibility of the project manager is to plan the timeline and plan the how the work is to be executed on the project. So Bill and project manager both work as a one part and team and help us coordinate the complete software. Then it
Okay.
is no, BIM is not a software developer model. BIM is basically a culture or an environment which needs to be like diversified and used in India for the smooth running of the project and saving your cost for longer terms. It might be an add-on cost while making the initial planning. It might be an add-on cost to your project, but it will help you and save in the longer run only.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so, sir, actually, there are two questions from the YouTube. Actually, we are going on live in YouTube also. So,
Okay.
so they are sending me messages through chat. So one of the question is the person who asked is Rupen Naveen asked is residential will take. I didn't get the question actually. So that is what was
You
asked.
can share the screenshot. You can share the screenshot if you.
One
I'll just go
second. I
through it.
will ask
Yeah.
the co-host to share me the
Yes.
because I am not able to understand the questions.
Nah, that is okay. You can share the question or link screenshot to the. I will go through it once.
Okay. Just give me a minute, sir, right? Because I need to
Yes, yes.
ask one of my team there to share it with me. Yes. And
Okay.
then in the meantime, someone is asking me how to contact you. This is also from YouTube chat only,
You
which
can
she has sent.
you can add me. They can add me on LinkedIn. They can add me on LinkedIn. They can do a message on LinkedIn. From there, we can connect.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah. I can share the LinkedIn profile link on the chat box for the
yeah, yeah,
reference.
sure. I will send it to them.
Yes. I've shared the link for my LinkedIn profile on the chat box.
One second. Yes, yes, I will send it to them. So I have asked one of my team there who is in YouTube live, who is for the YouTube live. They once I
Okay.
receive the screenshot, I will send it to you, sir. Yes. In the
Sure,
meantime,
sure,
we
sure.
can take
That is
some questions here, whichever we have received. So, is there any particular BIM model which is to be used, or is there only one BIM model?
No, BIM model, like by as I said in the starting earlier presentation, so they are different. BIM is not a like model. BIM is like a culturalization. Revit is the modeling where we do the modeling. So in Revit there are certain sectors like there's called LOD 300, LOD 400, LOD 500. So depending upon the requirements of the client and what all data they want to extract from that model. So we do the planning, like we do the modeling on the basis of that only. Like if I just need the architecture, so we make it LED 300. If we need architectural structure in MEP, so we make it 400, and we need more details, so then we make it 500D. So there are certain levels which we can work on Revit, and depending upon the information we need to extract from that.
So, do you know what he wants? He's asking for residential will take. I don't know what it is.
Uh,
Can BIM take? Probably he's asking for, can BIM take over residential thing? I'm not sure. Is that
No,
the
residential,
question?
no. It might be something else. And the Muhammad Azhar Islam asks, we need the knowledge of data structure to explore BIM. What type of knowledge you're looking for? Like, assume like data structure to explore BIM. What knowledge you want to like know from the? Can you elaborate your question, Azhar? Data algorithm coding, like it is not complete. It is not a software model, something like where we do the algorithm or coding for the project. And then if I say data structure, we get the simple Excel files, which help us to extract the quantities from the project. We don't like data algorithm. We can be like what all you can say that if I'm making a wall, so I need to know what is the square feet length for the wall, and what all finishing we are planning in, like thickness of the plaster we are the standard thickness decided for the project, for the plastering work over the wall, and then the thickness of tile. So these are the types of data and algorithm used in the BIM while designing the complete model. So if I think that you you wanted to know, yeah.
Sir, we have one more question with us.
Yes.
Just a second. So it is regarding, can you discuss the role of BIM in improving construction site safety and reducing accidents?
And that can be done, like what happened, uh while safety, we have to manage the safety practices on site itself first. how BIM can help us in BIM can help us in like wait, we have to be more attentive while working on. So while making a BIM model, if we know there's a particular height we are achieving at a particular level and there's a staff nearby. So with the help of BIM, we can already do the pre-planning. Like we have to cover the shaft on 15th floor. For example, if you are doing a residential project and a high-rise residential project, we are working on lift section area and there's a shaft around the column. So we can have the complete idea from the starting only that we need to have a safety hazard measures to be taken care by binding the complete area or using the safety tape. So BIM can help us in like achieving what should be done and that area. If I say safety hazards, we have to consider on site only majorly, like execute for the ensure the safety of the workmen.
So thank you, sir. These were the questions, and sir, we have one more question. So that means
Yes.
BIM helps in
Huh?
evaluation of probability and impact of risk.
You can say that the BIM might help us in evaluating the complete probability and risk we are gonna face on the sites. So as if we know that we have to go up at particular height, so will we already prepare from the starting only that we have to achieve once we reach that height. So yes, BIM help us in evaluating all the probability and impact of risk.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That were the questions. Uh,
Thank you, sir.
Now,
Actually, sir, there are some more questions coming in YouTube. I am taking the
Yes, ma'am.
questions from the co-host. There one person by name Kishanti is there. So I'm taking questions. She's giving me the question. Just can you please hold on for 5 minutes, sir? I will give you the
I can
question.
hold it. I can
Yeah,
hold it.
thank you,
I
sir.
can
Yeah,
definitely
thank
hold
you.
it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just Sikran Priya. Okay, okay. So what is proactive BIM?
Proactive BIM, as I said, LOD 500 we can consider LOD 500 to be a proactive BIM, like which is helping us to extract each and everything from the model. Like as I said, we have all the information related to project before the starting of project only. Then we can say it a proactive BIM. Considered a proactive which help us calculating all the works and before the execution of projects.
So what is the difference between BIM and which one is the other one? Okay, PERT, then slash PCM method.
ERT/PCM method.
PCM better. Yeah, they are asking the difference between BIM
Sir,
and
the question is from
Yes,
my side. Uh,
yes,
we,
please.
one
we are
second,
evaluating the project
one sec.
as per part CPM, part evaluation review and technique, and critical path method, part CPM chart. All the steps, sequence, and other cost factors are evaluated. So, what is the difference between BIM method and this part CPM method?
The difference between the BIM method and PERT CPM method is that BIM help you do the modeling process and PERT help you do the like you BIM help you to define the packages of the work, like what all things you are executing on site. BIM help you in evaluating the tasks and what you have to do. PERT and CPM help you to elaborate those tasks and how much time it will calculate. So with the help of PERT and CPM, you can do the complete planning. Like what happens, like as I said, there are a number of softwares that comes under BIM. BIM help us in calculating and evaluating the tasks. PERT and CPM help us in how to achieve those tasks. So BIM will help us in like designing and calculating of the project, and PERT and CPM will help us in planning of the complete project. So there's a difference between PERT
Okay.
and BIM.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is there any question? Hello.
Hello. No, it is done, I think.
So I think the questions are over.
Yes.
Okay, so for that
Yes,
was
sir. Sorry, Nitika. Yeah, sorry. Yes, sir. Yeah, questions are over. Only one question which they wanted to answer was that residential will, which I'm not able to
If you can
understand the
copy
question.
and paste the same in the chat box, I can read it.
1 second. Let me see if
Yeah.
I'm able to find it. It's the same question, sir, which I told you. I will just copy it and I will give it to you there.
Yes, please.
Yes, yes. Probably he's asking how does BIM will take over the residential will, I think.
No, this cannot be the question. Residential project needs BIM to work on. So
Probably that is
BIM,
what he is
yeah,
asking for because
he might be, yes.
yes.
BIM
So
residential project needs BIM for their timely execution. So yeah,
so how do we do that is the question.
BIM is involved in conceptualization and designing of project.
Uh-huh.
This is Dr. Sanjay is asking. BIM is involved in conceptualizations and designing of projects. So yeah, BIM, as I like as I mentioned in the complete presentation, BIM does help in we can have the complete conceptual models while executing the we as we prepare the complete conceptual model before the start of projects, and BIM help us in designing those projects. So yes, BIM is involved in these all sort of things. The main motto behind implementing BIM is to we should have a concept before the execution is started at site.
Right, sir. Thank you. It was a very informative session by from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have received from YouTube participants.
हाँ, तो possibly she wanted or she might be working on to residential project through BIM. So we
Maybe.
can connect through LinkedIn, and also I will also mention put in my number on the chat box so that they can
Okay.
connect me directly, or you can share it. Yes.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank you all for
So,
joining in. And yes, I just wanted to thank you all. Thanks the audience for joining and those really good informative questions to ask. So yes, Nitika, you can take over from here.
Thank you,
Finally.
sir. That was a very informative session and a very good piece
Thank
of
you.
advice for us. The most engaging participants were Naina, Saeed Shiba, Gajalakshmi, Samro Prasad, Rupan Naveen, MD Azhar, Ghanshyam Daskar. So now everyone, it's time to open your camera and say cheese for making this event more beautiful and memorable. I request everyone to please open your cameras for the photo. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support for you. Please follow us on our social media and social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel for new learning. Moreover, to gain more knowledge and learn more new ideas, join us on May 2nd for our international webinar on the topic corporate communication. So see you all over there. The feedback links are already in the chat box. Please fill out this form within 6 hours. Thank you so much for cooperating. Stay connected with us for new learning. I'm Nitika Chauhan, your host for today, and signing off. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave? Yes,
yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Uh,